Hi guys, I'm Ina. I am, well, as you can see, I'm taking over thefeed's account today on Snap. And today we're going to do some baking. Not any sort of baking. We're going to make what we call here in Norway prinsessekake, translated into princess cake. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that little fact. I'm in Oslo, Norway. Yes, it's still winter here. Yes, we're looking forward to the spring. And yes, we do love to bake, especially small, sweet, yeasted cakes like, yeah, we call them bolle. And I think you just call them plain buns. Anyways, I'm going to show you what I'm going to bake. The recipe is up on my blog already. It is, of course, in Norwegian, but I will be translating it. So later in the day, if you scroll down further down to the bottom, you'll find an English version. So this is the cake we're going to bake today. Hopefully I'll manage to make it just as pretty as I did when I made it here. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm ready to get baking. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll get all my stuff together and we'll start. See you later. So first of all, I'm going to warm up some milk. I just want it lukewarm. It just makes for an easier rise. Not only easier, but quicker, basically. And then I'm going to gather all my dry ingredients in my trusty KitchenAid bowl. Yes, we have KitchenAid in Norway too. I'm going to add some cardamom. And as you can see, I'm pretty generous with my cardamom. That's because I love cardamom. This is dry yeast. We could use fresh yeast, but I didn't have any, so we're using the dry stuff. Now I just mix all this together to make sure everything is kind of where it should be. And at the same time, I'm sort of aerating the flour, which has been sitting in the bag for a while. And since I didn't sieve it, this is the second best thing to do. And the last thing I'm going to do before we start mixing this dough together is that I slice, with this sort of cheese slicer, slices of butter. I need 150 grams. And then while that's working together, we just drop in little pieces of butter and let that mix. And then it's just a matter of letting your machine do all the work. Great, huh? So the dough looks ready. Let me just lift this up. It's been kneading now for about 3 minutes. That's what you need, probably 3 to 5 minutes. You see that the dough, and you can see that the dough has a really nice smooth texture and all the butter has been incorporated. So we're going to let that rest now. So while that dough is resting, we're going to make some vanilla cream. And I have some milk heating again. This time it's going to get really hot. And I have some cornstarch and egg yolks ready in this bowl. And I'm going to mix it together. I'm going to add some more hot milk. Sorry, I have to do this in stages because I only have one hand. I've added all the hot milk to the egg mixture, and now I'm going to pour it all back into the pan through a sieve just to catch anything that's not. And now we're just going to warm this up until it thickens. You need to stir constantly. You don't want any lumps forming, and you certainly don't want it to burn at the bottom. Okay, this is finished. There are some lumps in it, so I'm probably, since I've had to do this one-handed, I'm going to sieve it once more before I let it cool. And before I do that, I'm going to add some vanilla, because you can't have vanilla cream without vanilla. So I've sieved the vanilla cream into a shallow dish, and I put some Glad wrap on top of it, directly onto the cream. That way you don't have a skin forming on top. So that's it for me for the time being. I'll see you in about an hour and a half or so. The dough will have risen by then, and the vanilla cream will have cooled off. And in the meantime, Dixie and I, what are we going to do, Dixie? Are we going to go for a walk? Ska vi gå på tur? Yeah. So Dixie and I are back from our walk. It was really nice outside, nice and sunny. Still lots of snow. Anyways, I cleaned the kitchen because I'm such a messy person. The dough looks fabulous and ready to work with. The vanilla cream or custard is cooled, and my pan is ready. So I've just lightly floured my countertop and tipped the dough out onto the counter. Now I'm just going to take off a little piece because I want to cover the bottom of my pan with some dough. So I rolled out a piece of dough, put it at the bottom of my pan, and this is going to work as a sort of a base for the cake. And it's going to make sure that all the vanilla custard stays in your cake. Then I spread about a good tablespoon of custard on this base. And then you roll out the rest of the dough to a rectangular shape, and you're going to start putting vanilla custard on top of that too. I've used about half of my custard now for the base of the cake and for this roll. And here comes the part that you can do or not do. It's up to you. Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that. Raisins and custard in a cake. Oh my God. Yeah, it's good. Just do it. Put in the raisins. Then all you got to do is roll it up. Now we're going to cut it into slices. So what I want to do now is I want to fill some of these holes with some more custard. And you can either do that with a tablespoon or you can put the custard in a pastry bag like I've done here. There. Here. The princess cake is baked. I've taken it out of its tin. And I've also kind of like popped off some of those really black raisins. I really don't like burnt raisins. So my princess cake is done. It looks really good. I'm dying for a bite. The house smells so yummy. Here it is, cooling off in the winter sun. Does look delicious, doesn't it? You can see the custard peeping through, raisins. And now all that needs to be done to finish it off is some glazing. So that's it from me, guys. I've shown you how to make a Norwegian princess cake. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find the recipe on my blog. I have translated it into English, so all you need to do is find the recipe and then scroll down to the bottom. I think thefeedfeed has also put out a link to the recipe. So bye, happy Easter, and bake a Norwegian princess cake, with raisins preferably.